everybody. Welcome to the Todd Stearns radio program. What an honor to have you with us today. And we have a lot of news to get through, a lot of conversation. We're throwing out a few trivia questions today as well, gearing up for the Yuletide season. And a lot happening in our nation's capital. By the way, we're expecting the president to somehow, he's going to be giving a speech, making some remarks from the White House, from the Oval Office during the show, and we'll try to dip into that when that happens. Sometimes the president runs a little bit late, so we'll do our best if he's actually speaking during our 3 hours together. So, look, last night, some very good news, and look, a win is a win, right? So that's good news. The Republicans did not lose the Tennessee 7th Congressional District race. And if you've been listening to the program for any amount of time, I've been telling you that this polling data was way off. This Emerson College poll that had the race between Matt Van Epps and Afton Bain, the Zohran Mamdani Democrat, they were like within 2 points of each other. And I got to tell you, I don't know what they're smoking over at Emerson College, but it's not a pork butt, everybody. These guys were way off the mark. However, there's a lot of spin going on today, and I want to try to cut through all of that. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this because I've got a lot of other topics I want to share with you. But I think there is something that we need to pay attention to. Now, the Republicans are saying this was a huge victory, that it never really was a plus 22 district for Congress people. And they're pointing out that when Marsha Blackburn ran back, I think in 2018, she barely squeaked out a win. So from the Republicans' point of view, they're looking at this as some sort of a massive landslide victory for the Republican Party. I'm not seeing that. As a matter of fact, I am seeing a very energized Democrat base. And I want to explain why, because when you look at really this campaign came down to about 2 weeks. I think Afton Bain had been out there campaigning for many weeks, and it really wasn't until the past couple of weeks that Republicans, and clearly they were looking at some internal polling numbers that made them very, very concerned. And that's one of the reasons why Donald Trump, the night before the election, did 2 campaign events. And then you had Speaker Mike Johnson, boots on the ground. It was all hands on deck. And they spent millions and millions of dollars to win this race. So the Republicans did what they needed to do to get this guy across the finish line. And look, I have no doubt that he's going to do a fine job. I think he will be a solid voice and vote for President Trump. But we shall see, as they say. Regardless, I think there are some things that we need to glean from this, because when you look at what happened in Nashville proper, and this district covers about half of Nashville, she won 80% of that vote, and that is really a staggering number. Now, again, it's a mostly rural, outside of some of the bigger towns. She also did well in Montgomery County, which is where Austin Peay University is. So you have a big college contingent there, but she did not win. The only county that she won in the entire district was Davidson County, which is where Nashville is. So I have a couple of thoughts about that. First of all, what is going on in Nashville? Are they really that? I mean, have the Southerners, has the state capital of Tennessee, embraced socialism? Now, that's a difficult question. It's a tricky question to answer. I'm going to do my best. But first, again, let's rehash who is Afton Bain. Number one, she is on the record in a podcast hating Nashville. She also said she hates country music. She also said she thinks men can give birth, and she said she gets triggered when people pray to Jesus Christ. So how in the world did somebody like that nearly get elected and nearly got 80% of the vote in Davidson County, Tennessee? And that's why I think this should serve as a wake-up call. And it's just sort of like hey, are you guys paying attention to what's going on here? Because there are a couple of things that I believe we can take away from this. Number one, She actually campaigned on affordability. And I know Trump says that we do not have an affordability problem in America, but we got an affordability problem in America. And we hear it every day from our callers. All of you guys are calling in saying, yeah, we got an affordability problem. We got to get it under control. It's not the end of the world. We just got to get it under control. That's all. It's not an attack on anybody. And I know the White House thinks, oh, this is, they're attacking us by pointing this out. No, it's not. We're just relaying, hey, here's what the people are talking about. And trust me when I say, when you're in Washington, D.C., when you're in the Oval Office, and it doesn't matter if it's a Republican or Democrat in that office, it doesn't matter. They're not going down to Chick-fil-A for lunch, right? They're going to the high-end establishments. That's just the nature of politics. They're really not concerned with how much it costs for you to go grocery shopping. That's not registering with them because they're not doing the grocery shopping. In many cases, they've got servants. Can we say servants in the 21st? They have people to do that. That's the politically correct term. No, not slaves. I said servants. Anyway, that's so yeah, I think a part of it is that. A big part of it is that people are hurting. However, the people that are hurting are the demographic of voters that normally don't go out and vote. So I don't think that was the bigger issue. Here's what I think the bigger issue is, and you people in North Carolina and Texas, I think you're going to be able to back me up on this. The problem is that a lot of red states have been dealing with a massive influx of newcomers, and they've been coming from blue states. The problem is they're bringing their politics with them, and they are unpacking their politics, and it's turning traditionally red cities in the South dark blue. It happened in North Carolina, and it's happening in Texas right now. And when you see the voting totals coming out of Nashville, it's happening in Nashville. And I hate to break this to you. I used to love going to Nashville. It was a fun town. It was a good southern city. But these days, if you've been, and I'm not saying you're not going to have a good time, but it's like the number one destination for bridesmaids in America. So if you're downtown and they're riding around on these, Cassie, I don't even know what you call them, these little, they're like bars on bicycles, and everybody sits around and they're pedaling in their seats and they're getting wasted.
The party buses.
Thank you. Well, they're not buses. They're like bicycles, And
with the pedal party bikes.
The pedal party bikes. That's it. You can nearly get killed by those things. And the women are screaming and carrying on, and they're getting drunk, and they're, losing their lunch and passing out. It's quite the scene down there on Lower Broadway. It didn't used to be like that. So Nashville has changed. So all of these newcomers have arrived, and you've got, most of them are coming from Hollywood and the music industry. There was a story I wrote in my book, Twilight's Last Gleaming, Can America Be Saved?, about Governor Mike Huckabee, who was invited to be on the Country Music Foundation, the board. Their only job was to raise money to buy musical instruments for poor kids, which I think is a pretty noble thing. But the head of the Country Music Foundation at the time happened to be this gay dude who was a country music executive. And the gay dude had a gay husband, and they had kids. And he said that somebody like Mike Huckabee is no longer welcome in country music. And you're like, wait, what? Somebody who, and the guy doubled down. He said, no. Anybody who holds the same values that Mike Huckabee holds, we don't want those people in country music anymore. By the way, that's why country music has gone a little squirrely lately. So anyway, you've got all of that coming in. By the way, Hollywood's bringing in a lot of their people, and it's just changed the whole culture of Nashville. And honestly, the last time I was there, and this happened to me in Texas too. It happened in two places. It happened and I'll tell you exactly where it happened, at the Opryland Hotel, which they now call the Gaylord. But we all knew it growing up as the Opryland Hotel. But the Gaylord has all of these, and the other happened at the some restaurant I was staying at in Dallas. And so anyway, I was looking for a good hearty breakfast, so I go down and I'm looking for a restaurant at the Gaylord, and I found the restaurant. They were serving breakfast, and I sat down. They said, what would you like? I said, it was my regular order. I want a glass of sweet tea and I want a sausage biscuit. And the waiter looks at me. We don't have those here. Would you like a fruit smoothie? I'm like, no, I don't want a fruit smoothie. I want a sausage biscuit and I want a glass of sweet tea. And the guy looks at me again and he kind of gets a little prissy and he puts his hand on it. I mean, I'm just like, I'm not being mean about it. I'm just saying, no, I really would like a sausage biscuit and a glass of sweet tea. Well, we just don't serve that kind of food here at the Gaylord. And I'm like, okay, well, what sort of food do you serve at the Gaylord? And so they brought out, they had like bagels and they had unsweet tea. And then they brought out this, like they had this. And by the way, I want to give you an iced tea primer here. You can't make cold iced tea sweet. You have to boil it, and then you let the sugar dissolve in it. Otherwise, you get that nasty sediment. And I don't want to, again, I'm getting off on a tangent here. But so all of that to say, back in the day, if you went to the Opryland Hotel, they'd be serving you a pile of homemade biscuits with homemade jam, and they'd be out there with big old sausage patties, grits, the whole 9 yards. Same thing happened in Dallas. And the lady felt so bad. I said, what do you have? She goes, we have toast. Toast? What toast? What's that? We're in Dallas, Texas. Give me a side of beef and a biscuit. She felt so bad, she went over to the bakery and got me a croissant. I can't be eating that. What is that going to do to my Southern street cred, for crying out loud? So all that to say, the whole environment's changed. The culture has changed. And I've been hearing that from a lot of people in North Carolina, where your culture is literally changing. People aren't talking with accents anymore. Everybody's talking with, I don't know, like this New Jersey thing. Hello, how are you guys? Nobody talks like that. We didn't used to talk like that.
All right, that's not the accent.
Well, you're from Jersey, Cassie. Isn't that how it goes?
I just needed to chime in.
No, how does it go? Like, you guys?
Yeah, okay, maybe, yeah, that part.
Yo,
that
Cassie.
Part. Only that part.
Cassie.
Not that part. Okay.
What you doing? I need some sauce with my meatballs. Did I get it? Is that better?
I plead the fifth.
All right. I'm just saying, I miss a good old Southern accent. I miss when you ask for some iced tea, it automatically comes sweet, right? I miss those days. And I'm just saying that's one of the reasons why those people voted for a socialist loon. They're not thinking straight. And by the way, can I just say one more thing about these diners serving bagels in Nashville instead of biscuits? You can't really schmear a biscuit. It doesn't work. You can't do the schmear. It just doesn't work. All that to say, I'm just glad Minnie Pearl and Grandpa Jones are not alive to see what they have done to Music City, USA. Because based on what we saw last night, Nashville has gone woke, beyond woke. And the lesson here, I think, for the rest of the nation, and we're going to play some audio from CNN, they're thinking that this could be the start of a blue wave. Well, first of all, a reality check. They lost last night, but the reality is this. They have the big mo. They've got momentum. And the only reason Matt Van Epps won is that Donald Trump got himself involved in this race. Number two, people came out in droves to stop the socialists. They weren't voting for somebody. They were voting against an ideology. That could be dangerous for us come the midterms. So, look, we got to take a break. We're going to the phone lines. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. You guys, give us a call.
This is the Todd Starnes Show.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies and fiber and spice supplements. Our ingredients are 16 whole fruits, 15 whole vegetables, 4 powerful fibers, and 12 aromatic spices. It's one irresistible combo.
Oh, I have a friend, Julia, who has taken a Balance of Nature now for quite some time, and And she said, oh, Becky, ask your doctor about taking Balance of Nature. So I talked to my doctor about it, and she said, oh, try it.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes. You know, you have lots of choices for cell phone service with new ones popping up all the time. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American and believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that's Patriot Mobile. The good news is you can switch to Patriot Mobile today without sacrificing quality or service. Worried about coverage? Don't be. Patriot Mobile uses all three major U.S. networks. If you have service in this country today, you'll have as good or better coverage with Patriot Mobile. Think switching is a hassle? Well, it's not. You can keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Patriot Mobile's 100% U.S.-based team will get you activated in minutes from the comfort of your own home. Stuck in a contract or owe money on your phones? No worries. Patriot Mobile has a contract buyout program. This is how we win, folks, by aligning our spending with our values. Every dollar we spend matters. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. Use promo code Todd and get a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. We are living in dangerous and unstable times. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Starnes. Pandemics, international insecurity, shortages, supply chain disruptions, and an economy on the brink. We know we can't simply trust the government to protect us. Now more than ever, everyone needs to be prepared. And being prepared is more than just stockpiling ammo, food, and supplies. Being prepared should also include stockpiling critical prescription medications. And that's where my friends at the Wellness Company come in. Their medical emergency kit contains the prescriptions, antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics that you need to keep you and your family safe, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID and even to a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Go to twc.health/Starnes today and order. That's twc.health/Starnes. Use the promo code STARNS and you're going to save an extra 10%.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time, and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back. I want to go to Houston. Bob is listening to us on Patriot Talk 920 and wants to weigh in on a very important issue regarding biscuits. Bob, what's going on?
Yeah, I wanted to kind of inform you or let you in on it. When you're in Texas and you're looking for a bun and a sausage on it, ask for a kolache. In most of your donut shops in Texas, they make a kolache. It's a bun with a sausage inside of it, kind of like a hot dog, but it's enclosed in. Some places you get them, the sausages are like a sweet sausage, tasty, Hill Country smoked, really good, delicious in the morning, especially when they're warm.
Wow.
And
Bob, you would be surprised here. You would be surprised to know this, Bob. I have actually tasted a kolache, and I got to tell you, they were somewhat life-changing.
Yeah, they're really good. And in Texas, you can get them with cheese and jalapeno on them, and it really gives you like a Latin flavor or Mexican flavor. They're really good too. And they can be really hot with the hot pepper on them, the chili pepper on them. But that's what you should be asking for when you're down here in Texas, the donut shops around Texas area. Where the kolache got started from, it was from the Polish settlers that came in, 150 years ago, and they're the ones that brought it over and started this in Texas. The settlers in Texas from Poland. They'll correct you now if you get in one of the old shops and you ask for kolache, Todd, now be warned. They might correct you and tell you it's not a kolache, it's a kolavice. That's the way they say it in Poland.
Oh, that's fancy talking. So, well,
I've been corrected when you run across one of the old Polish places, but most people call it just kolache down here. Ask for that next time you're around in Texas, and you'll be very happy.
I will do that. Someone took me, and I was in Fort Worth, Texas. This was so many years ago. I don't even know if this place is still open, but I do remember the name because it was just such a fun place. It was called Busy Bees. And I think it was a family-owned place, and they were churning out these things. I had never seen a kolache before, and I'm like, wow, this is why Texas is so great.
Yeah, they do. It's a good mix of various traditions, Spanish, Mexican, French, German, Polish, Italian. It's just got everything, all the different kinds of cuisines, and kind of mixed together, like Tex-Mex food.
All right. Well, Bob, I appreciate the intel there, and thank you for a little bit of the culture there in the great state of Texas. And we certainly appreciate listening to Patriot Talk 920. It's my understanding the Czechs, Bob said it was the Polish who brought those over. I had heard it was the Czech immigrants, but, I don't want to start a kolache war. So anyway, all right, hang tight, folks. We're going to take a quick break. We've got Justin in Collierville, Tennessee on deck. I'm just curious, how confident are you that the Republicans are on the right track? Is there something they may need to tweak here? 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Stern Show.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash. Fantastic. Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at smokeybear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, and again, I want to play this audio before we go to our phones. Over at CNN, so they're laying out the numbers here, and we'll get that. Oh, here we go. So CNN this morning, they were looking at the numbers, and we were too. And I know the Republicans and a lot of conservatives are saying a win is a win is a win. We don't care. Let's move on. No, this was a rock-solid ruby red district. This guy should have won by 20 points, and the fact that he didn't should give us pause for concern to say, okay, what's going on here? Are we looking at demographic shifts? And I mentioned that to you, folks from California moving in. Is it a situation where the voters are just really demoralized because the Republican majorities haven't done all that much up on Capitol Hill? Or is it a combo platter of all of those things? Also, Matt Van Epps, and I don't, he was not the choice of the America First voters. I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, listen to these numbers real quick. Going down through the counties here, and again, many of these are rural counties. All right, I'm not going to mention Nashville, Davidson County. Dixon County moved 12 points to the left. Hickman County, 8 points to the left. Humphreys, 12 points to the left. Wayne, 7 points to the left. Every single county moved as much as 15 points to the left. That tells me we need to pay attention here, that something is not right. Something is not clicking. Let's go to the phone lines. Justin in Collierville, Tennessee, listening to us on KWAM. Hi, Justin. What's on your mind?
Hey, good morning, Todd. Hey, I think you missed a big point about Nashville, how progressive they have become of that city. So for the 2024 Republican National Convention, actually it has been the presidential convention where the Republican Party makes the nomination for president, that came down to two cities, Milwaukee and Nashville. And they pulled out of Nashville because the city council there protested so much and said that it was divisive and that basically it would become January 6th if they held the national convention there. And they lost out on a $200 million impact on that city just because that city has so much Trump derangement syndrome. So it's not a surprise to me if Davidson County would go that hard blue. But I do think the Van Epps race is a canary in the coal mine. Republicans aren't talking about the key issues to everyday Americans of affordability, and they just haven't came through with immigration, of deporting as many people as we can. So there's a lot of promises they made. They just need to get with it because I think a lot of those are even Republican and independent voters that are either choosing to stay home out of protest or they're swapping out to the other side because they're talking about key issues that matter to him. So I think the Republicans are being very defensive today and saying this was a win, but I do not see this as a win. I see it as momentum for the Democrats.
No, that's exactly how I see it. And I don't want to be you don't want to be that guy, that like poo-poos on the victory. I mean, it's a great victory and I'm glad he won. But we need to take a really hard look at these numbers here because there's a story. And I think the Democrats, and I'm somewhat excited about this, the Democrats truly believe that Afton Bain, her politics is the way to go. That's going to be, in their minds, that's going to just rile up their base. So I'm not going to be surprised to see her running again, but I'm also not going to be surprised if we see very similar candidates like Afton Bain running in races across the country. What do you think, Justin?
Yeah, so I think you have to look at the bigger picture. That district was drew to guarantee that a Republican would win, even if you did have a large Democrat turnout. A Democrat's not going to win, but the Democrats found a way to gain momentum, and I think that we gave the Democrats the best gift they could have hoped for before the 2026 midterms, which is hope, which is showing if we have a message that we can come out there and we can talk about affordability and these kitchen table issues, that they can hopefully win. And they're not going to win every district, but they may come close in some races across the country. They may even flip some. If you have a good congressional candidate that has that message, maybe they flip some school board seats or maybe they flip some county commission seats across the country. And that's how they understand they play the long game and win. We as Republicans don't see that, and we need to get refocused, and we need to get back to the message of 2016 that Trump had of making America great with all the kitchen table issues that matter to everyday Americans.
Yeah, I see your point there, and I do look. I feel very optimistic about the president's agenda. It is a winning agenda. It's a winning message. The problem is it's not getting implemented by the Congress, and we have got to light a fire under Mike Johnson and John Thune. I don't know if we can. I really don't, because they are clearly beholden to a lot of power brokers that don't want President Trump's agenda to move forward. And I mean, otherwise, why haven't they been working around the clock to codify all of these things?
Yeah, that's a question they'll have to answer. I think once you get to D.C., it's so hard to get things done because it costs so much money to get there, and you're basically in so many people's pockets that it's really hard to execute that agenda. But you know what? The biggest dilemma for Republicans is Republicans staying at home, and Republicans will protest by just not voting. And that's how Democrats get elected in this country, because we are the majority.
And that's the way that race was going until they really had to ramp things up there in the final 2 weeks. I think they saw the numbers. Republicans have been, I don't know, not demoralized is not the right word, but they're just disinterested because we haven't seen, I mean, when you listen to President Trump, it's all about rah, rah, we are winning. And you hear nothing from Congress because, A, they're not there, and B, they're just not engaged. So there's a big disconnect in Congress right now. Justin, I got to run, but thank you for the call, and thank you for that analysis. Want to play this from CNN talking about where things are going. They seem to think a blue wave is building. I'm not so sure about that. Cut number 10.
Still, Democrats seem to be smiling this morning. Why? Because the margin of defeat was much slimmer than Republicans have been doing in that district. With us now, CNN chief data analyst Harry Enton. Let's talk about the numbers.
Let's talk about the numbers. Republicans should be running for the hills this morning because the blue wave is building, my dear friend, Mr. Berman. What are we talking about here? Well, Matt Van Epps, the Republican candidate, he won it by 9, but this is a district that Donald Trump won by 22 points, 15 points, 17 points. This is a 13-point gain for the Democrats in terms of the margin, and excuse time for Republicans is over because I hear all about these special elections. Oh, the turnout's so low. It's not representative of what happened in the midterm election. The turnout last night in Tennessee's 7th district was equal to the turnout in the 2022 midterm election. So the blue wave, it seems to be building right out of center of Tennessee.
Interesting. I mean, so in terms of the numbers, the turnout looked like a regular midterm election, not a special election.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And of course, we have a midterm. What about 11 months from now?
All right. What have we seen in terms of trends in all the special elections the last year?
Okay. You know, I wouldn't necessarily give a hooting and a hollering about one special election in Tennessee. I love the people in Central Tennessee, but Central Tennessee is nothing special compared to the rest of the country. But what we see happening is, take a look here. Okay, 2025 U.S. House special elections. Dems outrunning Kamala Harris. A lot of blue here, a lot of blue, which is what I think the nation might look like a year from now if these results hold. Arizona 7, you see a 17 outperformance of Kamala Harris. 23 points in Florida 1, 16 points in Florida 6, 13 points in Tennessee 7, 28 points in Texas 28, and then 17 points in Virginia 11. So we've seen it throughout the nation, whether you go from the suburbs of Washington, D.C., all the way to the southwest in Arizona, whether you're looking at Texas, whether you're looking at Tennessee, whether you go down to Florida, we have seen the Democratic outperformance of Kamala Harris happening across the political map. What happened last night in Tennessee ain't just staying in Tennessee. It is spreading itself throughout the nation. As I said, to me, looking at these results, it looks like a blue wave is building.
And it's not just that it's blue, it's that it's double-digit blue.
It is exactly right. It's double-digit blue. I will note, I looked at the stats. If, in fact, you had a 13-point shift like we saw in Tennessee, and you applied that to the 2024 presidential map, we are talking about a gain for Democrats of north of 40 seats.
All right. I don't know about that. I don't think those numbers are accurate, but they're analyzing the data. And I will say that based on what we've seen, the Republicans have some work to do. And it goes back to some very simple things. We've got to focus on the economy, immigration, education, and crime. And we've got to make sure that the messaging on those 4 issues is spot on. And look, the White House has done a terrific job of that. Congress has not. So we've got to get it together, or that could be the big problem. There could be a blue wave coming, and I don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen. The country doesn't need that to happen. I'm just telling you. 901-260-5926 is our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. I have to tell you about our friends at Patriot Mobile. You know, a lot of people this time of year, they're looking at their new budget for the year, looking at maybe cuts they need to make, or, you know, they've got a few extra dollars to spend here or there. Well, let me tell you, you need to check out Patriot Mobile because you're going to save a lot of money without sacrificing quality or service. Now, Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian and conservative wireless company, and they have incredible cell phone service. I love it. And I know many of you are like, yeah, you know, I really don't like my current coverage, but it's such a hassle to switch. Well, not with Patriot Mobile. First of all, they use all three major U.S. networks. So if you have service in the country today, well, you're going to have it good or better with Patriot Mobile. And there is no hassle. You get to keep your number, you get to keep your phone, or you can upgrade to one of their, you know, super stylish, you know, gizmo phones. By the way, their customer service team is based right here in America. All of them speak great English, which is worth the switch just for that. Trust me on that. And by the way, if you're stuck in a contract where you owe money on your phones, there's no problem. Patriot Mobile has a contract buyout program for you. And this is what it's all about, is aligning our spending with our values. So go to patriotmobile.com/Todd right now. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd, or give them a call, 972-PATRIOT. Use promo code Todd, and you're going to get a free month of service. That's 972-PATRIOT, promo code Todd.
It's Radio Free America. It's the Todd Starnes Show.
Everyone's goals for advancing their education look different. At Liberty University, we've helped thousands of students like you earn their dream degree. So no matter what your goal is, we can help you get there. With over 450 degrees from the associate to the doctoral level to choose from, most of which are 100% online, you'll find what you need to succeed. To discover which degree might be the best fit for you, text degree to 49595. That's degree to 49595.
Hey, Patriots, Todd Starnes here with big news. Trump's fighting for our country to get it back on the right track, battling China, who's likely dumping treasuries to sink the dollar, and facing tariffs that are having a sharp bite on the stock market. Now, Trump is playing the long game for America, putting Americans first. But like hard work, there's always going to be some pain. So you've got to play smart, too. Secure your hard-earned savings and retirement with Vault U.S. Gold. Their IRS-approved gold IRAs let you roll over your IRA or 401k with a no-commission pros. Safe, simple, tax-smart, protecting your future. Want it in hand? Well, their direct delivery program ships insured gold and silver to your door, offering privacy, yours to store securely. Real assets that you can hold and touch for tough times. Call 833-511-GOLD. That's 833-511-4653, or visit vaultusgold.com/Todd Starnes for your free investor kit. And tell them Todd sent you, and don't go unprotected.
America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
Many college grads are anti-capitalist activists. So if you're a business owner, how do you find new employees who won't destroy your business? Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and that's where Red Balloon comes in. They're America's #1 pro-freedom job board, and they're shaking up the hiring world by focusing on values and mission-aligned talent. Now, there are two ways Red Balloon can help. You can post your job on their national job board. Over 20,000 people visit every week. Or you can hire Red Balloon Recruiter for a more customized talent search. Now, the Recruiter team is really fantastic. They start by learning your workplace culture and writing a custom job posting, and then they source and screen candidates from their national database. Their team conducts first interviews, and you get alerts when they find highly qualified candidates. And Red Balloon delivers these high-quality results at a fraction of traditional corporate recruiter prices. People are saying Red Balloon is a game changer. So check them out today, redballoon.work. Use the promo code STARNS and save $100 on Recruiter.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. All right. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Todd Stearns Radio Show. What an honor to have you with us today. President Trump yesterday was in rare form at this cabinet meeting. It was all taking place during our show. You just have to love this guy's sense of humor, and that's the problem. You know, so many people just do not understand his sense of humor, his incredibly dry wit. And I want to play some audio here. This is the president explaining why the first lady is upset over new construction at the White House. Cut 7.
Building one of the great, I think maybe the greatest ballroom. We needed it for 150 years. They've been asking. You see the trucks and cranes and excavators in the background. And you hear them, and every time I hear them, I love the sound. To me, I love the sound. I wouldn't say my wife is thrilled. But she hears pile drivers in the background all day, all night. They go till 12 o'clock in the evening, day, night, pile drivers. Darling, could you turn off the pile drivers? Sorry, darling, that's progress.
Darling, it's progress. I love that. President also weighing in on his health. You know, it drives me crazy. We've got a guy who was in office for 4 years, and he didn't even know he was in office for 4 years. He literally talked to dead people on stage. He would call out people in the audience, and they weren't there. You know why? Because they were dead. But maybe maybe Joe Biden sees dead people. The guy had completely lost his marbles, and everybody turned a blind eye. So Donald Trump, I don't know, nods off every once in a while, or maybe he sounds a little bit sleepy, or maybe he's walking differently because, he hurt his leg or something, and the media goes nuts. So the president addressed all of this at the cabinet meeting, cut number 6.
But you always find something new, like, is he in good health? Biden was great. But is Trump in good health? I sit here, I do 4 news conferences a day. I ask questions from very intelligent lunatics, you people. I give the right answers. There's never a scandal. There's never a problem. I give you answers that solve your little problems. You go back and you can't find anything, but you do stories about Biden was in wonderful health. The guy didn't do a news conference for 8 months. If I go one day, I had one day where I didn't do a news conference, there's something wrong with the president. You people are crazy. I'll let you know when there's something wrong. There will be someday. That's going to happen to all of us. But right now, I think I'm sharper than I was 25 years ago, but who the hell knows?
It's true, though, right? I mean, here's a guy. He did a 3-hour press conference yesterday in this cabinet meeting. It was remarkable. And they have the nerve, they have the audacity to go out there and say, well, you don't look very good. You look a little flushed today, Mr. President. Do you have cancer? I mean, it's insane. They're waiting for the guy to drop dead. It's unbelievable. All right, I want to share something with you, and we haven't spent a lot of time on this, but this month in December, we're hoping to set a goal, and we are slow marching this. And we're very excited about creating a foundation that is really going to ramp up and sort of be the engine for enhancing our news coverage and our conservative news coverage. And we're looking to hire some staff writers and journalists who are conservatives. And for us to be able to do that, we have to raise a little bit of funding. And I think it's important for people to have buy-in and for people to partner with what we're doing. And we want to give you that opportunity. And so this month for December, we're hoping to add 100 people who will become supporters of the Todd Starnes Show and Starnes Media Group. And you can do that very simply by going to my website, and you'll see the post Giving Tuesday. Of course, now it's Wednesday, but you can still give. Ways you can support the show. And when you click on the link to contribute, you'll be able to donate whatever you want. Either it's a one-time gift, a monthly gift, or a yearly gift. And you can donate $25, $250. I know Cassie's put in for $2,500. Thank you, Cassie, for that. We'll send you a book. Or you can do others. So maybe some people have donated $5 and they said, you know what, I want this to be a $5 or $10 monthly donation, a gift. Or you can do a one-time. It's really up to you and however you see fit. And we make it super simple. We do it all through PayPal, so all of your donation information is secure. And you can also donate with a credit card or a debit card. But again, go to ToddStarnes.com, and we're just slow marching this. We're going to be ramping up in the new year, but we're looking for 100 people this month that will be able to donate and help us out. And you can do that by going to ToddStarnes.com, and you'll see the information there where you can make a donation. All right, hang tight, everybody. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
In a world where our values are under fire, it's time to stand strong. That's why you should know about Old Glory Bank. Old Glory Bank is a bank that stands for faith, family, and freedom. A bank that won't cave to cancel culture. Your money, your values. So if you're tired of banks that won't stand up for your values, it's time to switch to Old Glory Bank. Head on over to oldglorybank.com/Starnes and make the change today.
America doesn't need barbed wire or secret police to lose freedom. All it takes is silence. Live Not by Lies is a gripping docuseries by Angel Studios that reveals how soft totalitarianism is creeping into everyday life. Through powerful stories from people who lived under communism, it warns of what happens when we surrender truth for safety. This is a must-watch for anyone who loves faith, family, and freedom. Stream the series now, only on Angel Guild, by visiting angel.com/Starnes.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for health care can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. So maybe you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're much happier with. Here's the number you need. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
Republicans are breathing a sigh of relief, retaining control of Tennessee's 7th congressional district and dodging what could have been a political earthquake. There were great fears within the party that Matt Van Epps might lose to state lawmaker Afton Bain, a Zoran Mamdani-style socialist. Bain said she actually hated Nashville, hated country music. What's shocking is she got 45% of the vote. But the socialist surge was not enough to give her a victory. Van Epps cruised to the win with nearly 54% of the vote, thanks to a massive campaign push by President Trump and House Speaker Mike Johnson. A win is a win, but the race exposed a concerning issue. When President Trump is not on the ballot, Republicans don't vote. The previous congressman's victory margin was plus 21, Van Epps plus 9. It's safe to say Tennessee voters were not voting for Van Epps as much as they were voting against a socialist loon. I'm Todd Stearns.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
From the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's favorite gun-toting, Bible-clinging, deplorable American.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
You know, I am so glad to hear President Trump playing hardball. All of these people coming into our country, and, you know, it's fascinating because they hate us. Right? They live in squalor, and we open up our arms. We give them all the resources they need to live the American dream, and then they turn around and they spit on us, and then they try to change our way of life. So President Trump was talking about this yesterday at this incredible cabinet meeting. Cut number 3, please.
And they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries, too. I can say it about other countries, too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
Yeah, I got no problem with anything the President of the United States just said. I want to bring into the conversation Troy Edgar, who is the Deputy Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. Troy, great to have you with us this afternoon on the show. And first, just on behalf of our vast audience, thank you so much for the great work you guys are doing stopping illegal immigration.
Thank you, Todd. It's great to be on your show. I really appreciate it.
So I want to share some breaking news. This was within the past hour where Secretary Noem announced that DHS law enforcement have landed in the Big Easy. That's New Orleans. And what is it called? Operation Catahoula Crunch?
Yeah, that's correct.
Wow, I love the name. Will remove the worst of the worst from New Orleans after the city's sanctuary politicians have ignored the rule of law. Law and order will prevail. This is exciting news, Troy. What can you tell us about the efforts in New Orleans right now?
It's another great operation. You know, as you can see, Todd, what we've been doing is going around through these different cities. Midway Blitz, we were in Raleigh, basically coming into these cities. And, you know, the unique thing about the Catahoula Crunch is that we're in a red state that's got a city in New Orleans that's basically a sanctuary city. So, but you got a supportive governor down there, Governor Landry. And I think this is going to be a great example of what happens when you get a supportive governor, and you know, it's basically encouraging the federal government's help. And that's what President Trump and Secretary Noem have been trying to focus on, is helping these cities and getting in there. So, you know, we're really going to be focusing first and foremost on the criminal aliens, the worst of the worst. But, you know, the thing that keeps happening with these sanctuary cities, and Todd, as you may know, I'm from California, where we have a tremendous problem with sanctuary cities, is you go in there for the criminal aliens, and instead of getting them out of the back of the jails through a normal detainer process, they're let back into the communities, and now we're forced to go into the community and sweep them up. And when we sweep them up, unfortunately, we'll call this collateral arrest. You end up getting a lot of other people arrested, and that's where you end up with these people that have a situation that may not be the worst of the worst, but they're still illegal. And, you know, and I think President Trump and Secretary Noem has been very focused to be very precise and targeted as we go into these cities. And I'm very excited about this operation.
Now, I'm hardcore, and I know our president is a compassionate man, but for me, I think all the illegals have to go back where they came from, and they can apply to come here the legal way. That's just me personally. But I do have a question about, let's say somebody overstayed their visa and they've been here, they came here, and they got all the paperwork to come here, but they overstayed. Does that person automatically get deported, or do you guys work with them to somehow let them stay in the country?
No, right now we're doing a very thorough review of all the visas and visa overstays. In the same way that we did it with student visas, we're doing a deep evaluation. And, at this point, what we're doing is we're looking for visa overstays, and we're giving them an opportunity to make the move themselves and self-deport. You see Secretary Noem talking a lot about CBP Home, and we're really focused on a media campaign to just let the folks that are out here that if you're on a visa overstay, go on your own accord, sign up at CBP Home, get out there. We'll help you fly home. We'll give you $1,000. We'll get you on your way. But if you're on a visa overstay, you need to leave.
I know that Tom Holman, the border czar, has just been outraged, especially with what's been happening in Minneapolis, where it's our understanding that the police chief is urging citizens to call 911 on ICE officers for kidnapping. What is going on there?
Again, just another example of a jurisdiction that's basically refusing to work with the federal government. And I think the hard part, and this is really tough, and you see it on TV, is that these are federal law enforcement officers doing their job, and they're actually out there putting their lives on the line. And when you've got something like that, it's not only just them getting kind of harassed, potentially saying that they're kidnapping, but crime, basically assaults on these officers are up 1,000%. We have death threats going over 8,000% increase in the last month. It's crazy.
Are you guys getting any reports of ICE agents and their families, or law, DHS officers and their families being threatened as well?
Absolutely. I was in Portland. The secretary had asked me to go out there a couple months ago, and I was meeting with the folks there, and one of the officers came up to me and basically showed me a picture on their phone of an epitaph that was set up in their front yard, basically threatening them to leave the city, and basically was having fruit and other things thrown at their house in the middle of the night. And what happens is people try to get their names while they're out there on patrol, and then they track them down. There's a whole infrastructure out there trying to find out who these ICE officers are. And if you'll notice too, Todd, just in Los Angeles, the LA County Board of Supervisors just yesterday approved basically making it a law against all law enforcement to wear, banning masks. And right now, the masks are the one thing that are actually trying to keep our folks safe, and I think that's something that we're, very concerned about. Obviously, at the federal law enforcement, not very applicable at the federal level when you have a local jurisdiction saying don't do something, and our federal officers will continue to do what they're doing. But it just shows you, again, the level of the local law enforcement and within these sanctuary cities and how far they'll go.
We've already seen one National Guard member lose her life. She was shot and killed in that terrorist attack in Washington. Andrew Wolf is survived and is recovering from his injuries. But the idea that somebody could be out there targeting the children of these officers as they're out there protecting us, that's just enraging to me. Yeah.
It's hard to think about. That's National Guard. So you've got these National Guard heroes out there contributing on behalf of their state and on behalf of the president through their federal law enforcement activity that they're helping. But I think the hard part is that, every government official that's out there, Secretary Noem has had a tremendous amount of issues with people kind of coming after her. We've had to have people in the government moving on to military bases and putting them into safe places because not only for their public service to the government, but their families are at risk. So definitely something that we need to kind of stay focused on. And that's why President Trump is not hesitating to give 150% support to our federal law enforcement partners that are out there.
Troy, do you have numbers on how many illegals so far have been deported?
Yeah, we do. There's a couple different numbers that we're focused on. Basically the ICE and CBP deportation numbers that were out there. Our President Trump has been very clear with us that he wants to be focused on 1 million deportations. So we're about 3/4 of the way through that as we continue to go through at a very rapid pace. And what's starting to compound that and really get the numbers up is, if President Trump on July 4th passed the One Big Beautiful Bill. And it basically provided DHS $190 billion worth of additional funding. So CBP and ICE has been hiring additional officers. So coming up here in about 2 weeks, ICE will have hired its 10,000th law enforcement officer. So now we're starting to see the number of arrests really dramatically increase. With that additional staffing, and we're also forming partnerships with the counties. We have over 1,000 relationships with local law enforcement in a program that technically they call it 287G, but it's basically just a relationship that the federal government gets into an agreement with normally sheriffs and local law enforcement, and we basically partner, and they kind of are an extension of us, and we reimburse them for that.
So by the time it's all said and done, I mean, because we've been hearing numbers, I don't know, between 10 and 20 million illegals. I don't know if you guys have a good data on that, but how many do you guys hope to be able to deport out of that bunch, say in the next 3 years?
I'll just tell you a little bit of a funny story. I mean, this is a serious issue or question, but when I was coming into the administration and I was getting ready to become the deputy secretary, I was going through discussions, where they're asking, hey, Troy, you're going to be the deputy secretary. Are you concerned that that you're going to be the person second in charge to deport 1 million people based on what President Trump had said? But if you look at the numbers, it's 10 to 15 million people had come through the southern border unvetted over the last 4 years, and my response is we're not going to stop at 1 million. And so I think what we're focused on is really all the criminal illegal aliens that are in this country. Millions table stakes, and we're going to be focused. And the good news is we're 1 year coming up and 1 year in, and 1/4 of the way through this process, President Trump and Secretary Noem have been able to get this machine going. And obviously Tom Homan, as our borders are, another great face of the team.
When you're dealing with people groups, is there any particular illegal alien people group that's more aggressive than others?
No, something that, let me back up. When we go out to do the type of removals that we're focused on, it's very targeted. We're looking for the worst of the worst. So we've spent a tremendous amount of money, on technology and profile the targeting that helps us get. And when we actually identify the targets, we rate and evaluate them on their criminality. So from a scale from 1 to 10. So if we know that we're going to go out, and it really isn't based on nationality, it's actually the safety to the officers, the safety of the community. And so that'll determine, the approach that we're going to take and how we kind of go about our tactics. But like I said, it's a very smart process. The hard part is that when we get out there using these targeting approaches, we end up getting these collateral arrests, so you just don't know who they're hanging out with. And sometimes it's family members, and sometimes it's even people worse than the people we're arresting.
Wow. Well, look, Troy, we could keep you on for a while, but I know you're a busy guy, and we certainly appreciate the update. I know our audience, this is a very important thing for them, and they just want to see all the illegals going back to wherever they came from, and just so we can, get a handle on fixing our immigration system.
Yeah, no. Well, Todd, I really appreciate you having me on the show, and thank you for everything that you and your audience are doing. We really appreciate the support.
All right, Troy Edgar, everybody, the Deputy Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, and sharing a lot of intel with us. I thought this was interesting. They're focusing on this number 1 million. They said that was the number that President Trump gave them. They said they have, I was doing the numbers here, of 750,000. He says they've already deported or have arrested, and there are about 10 to 15 million illegals that were allowed into the country unvetted during the 4 years of the Biden administration. It just seems to me, and maybe this is just me, this is a big issue for me, and it has been for a very long time, because without secure borders, you cannot have a sovereign nation. It really is that simple. But it seems to me that we need to be deporting a heck of a lot more than 1 million people, folks. And if we were coming into this by saying this is our goal, 1 million, that's not gonna put a dent in this. We've got to ramp up, and we've got to take this seriously. All right, got to take a break. Going to the phones, 901-260-5926. You heard what the Deputy Secretary had to say. Your reaction to that, 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
A about to back up and bring it. You're with Todd Starnes.
Friends, here's a reality check. Your biggest retirement expense likely isn't groceries or healthcare. It's taxes. Add inflation eating away at your dollar, and it's easy to see why so many run out of money. Lassiter Capital helps solve that problem by giving you access to real estate investments designed to generate income, protect against inflation, and provide huge tax advantages. Founder Ty Lassiter calls it the 4 keys to investment success. Visit LassiterCapital.com/Starnes or call 817-912-1569 to schedule your free consultation.
From director Sean McNamara comes Soul on Fire, based on a true story.
They said you had no chance, but here you are.
Starring Joel Courtney, John Corbett, Stephanie Shostak, Macy McLean, with Devon Franklin and William H. Macy.
If you focus exactly on loving the life that you're living right now, and not the life that you think you could have had or should have had, that's the whole deal right there.
Soul on Fire, rated PG, parental guidance suggested. Now playing. For tickets, go to soulonfiremovie.com.
Soul on fire.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. You know, Mike has a passion to help everybody get the best sleep of their life. And he didn't stop by creating the best pillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. Mike is offering the best deal on his Percale bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98. The MyPillow Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look great, they feel great, and that means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 worth of merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS to receive the MyPillow Percale sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. That's 800-839-8506. Use promo code STARNS.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm not a young guy, and I'm an ex-athlete. Well, yeah, when I was taking it, I recognized that I was feeling better. You know what I'm saying? And just mentally knowing is important also.
I am a customer of you guys. I love your product. Love it, love it. Nothing but good things to say about your product. I love it. And as long as y'all are going to sell it, I'm going to take it as long as I can.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age. My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going. Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when.
Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
All right, let's go to the phones. Jerry in Iowa. Hi, Jerry. What's on your mind today?
Hello, Todd. Is it too early to bring up the Somalian Twin Cities in Minnesota? Because I live in Iowa here.
No, well, no, it is not. And I asked the Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security about that just a little while ago, talking about what was happening in Minneapolis. But you're talking about St. Paul.
Well, so we live in Iowa here. I just wanted to comment that it's about the so-called nice Muslims syndrome, where Americans look at the Muslims, they're just trying to live their life. But the reality is, for me, is I have never met a so-called nice Muslim or Democrat in the U.S. or Israel. I got back from Israel not long ago, who doesn't enjoy sympathizing with every time we get hit or bombed or shot or some terrorist comes in. They just sympathize. They say, well, I personally wouldn't do the bombing or the shooting or the stabbing myself, but basically the Americans, Christians, and Jews had it coming. And in Israel, it's the same way. There are a lot of Muslims, so-called nice Muslims, who live in Israel. They're not de facto Palestinians, but they sympathize with them. And the Israelis, my experience is, these Jews truly are afraid of their neighbors, and not just the Palestinians in Judea and Samaria, but in Gaza and in the whole Mideast. And it's just a terrible. I don't know if you saw a couple of years ago, there was a World Mag article about the Twin Cities, where Muslim men go door to door. I've got the full page spread out and pictures of it in utility belts, making sure all the women wear hijabs, and asking you why you aren't in five prayers a day. And it's not a request; it's a requirement. So we've got these Somalian truckers that are really swamping our truck stops here in northern Iowa. And just don't be fooled by the nice Muslim perspective, because they might be nice when they're the minority, but when they own a neighborhood, you're in danger. And I know that's not politically correct. I know that God loves them individually, and I did get to share the gospel with some Muslims and Jews in Israel. But just don't be fooled. They will take over, and they take advantage of our naive post-Christian mentality. They like to play the game "stop hitting yourself," like bullies did in grade school.
Right.
They use a caged dog analogy in Israel. They say, well, the Israelis caged the Gazans in their little prison. I said, well, what are you going to do? Let them loose? They're just going to, you can't let them loose, but you can't keep them in the cage.
Yeah.
So,
Jerry, got to leave it there, my friend. All right. Yep. Thanks, Jerry. Yeah, we got to go to a break here, folks. Hang tight. We'll be right back.
Mama, what does the chicken say?
Chicken. Oh, okay.
When the wolf?
Oh, a wolf.
Ooh! What about the tiny dog? Cat? Owl? Dolphin? What does the turkey say? Whale?
Whale sound.
Do the giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Okay. Giraffe. Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov.
/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says,
avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for health care can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face, never let them have too much screen time, and never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed, never ever become a minivan mom, and you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom? She started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Wow. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem dropping a bombshell yesterday, announcing that half of all visa applications in Minnesota are fraudulent. That's insane. And, of course, she's blaming Governor Tim Walz. That's the retarded governor of Minnesota, according to President Trump. She said they went back and looked at Minnesota's visa program, and 50% fraudulent. And she says that they did it on purpose. I want to go to the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line, say hello to our good friend, the Jeffrey Lord. Telling it like it is since 1987. Is that true? Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, I was born in 1987. So maybe not. Maybe I'm getting that confused.
You're a spring chicken. I love the website, and I love the slogan. TheJeffreyLord.com, everybody, if you want to go and check out his great work. Yeah, this is one of the lead stories on your website today.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you've checked. I have not yet done so. I'm ashamed to confess here.
Well,
but, I have to keep writing all the time, and so this is one of those days where I just sort of burrow in and start to examine what's out there and what's in the news and all that kind of thing. And the thing about being around in our day and age is that things are never dull. And there's always something going on here in the world. And wow. And with the president of the moment, that can frequently be the case. With this president in particular, it's always the case.
It's a fair point. The other big story that we were following this week, Jeffrey, and CNN's been all over this today saying, this is the start of a blue wave. They're predicting that Democrats could pick up as many as 40 seats. I'm just fascinated. They're able to predict that based on a loss in the Tennessee 7th Congressional District last night.
Yeah, one of the things that goes on here is that there is a pattern long before Donald Trump was ever around, that when you get to this stage in a presidency, the congressional elections upcoming, that sort of thing, they're always tough for the incumbent president of the moment. As you know, I worked for President Reagan, and in 1980, he won in a 44-state landslide. 2 years later, his Republican candidates got absolutely hammered in their races for Congress. Then 2 years after that, he won a 49-state landslide. And 2 years after that, when I was a young White House political director, and we were sending him all over the country to campaign for Republicans because he was so popular, and we got clobbered again in the 1986 elections. And so I've gone back and done my due diligence here. This is pretty much of a normal pattern for an incumbent president. It's pretty rare when they are not on the ballot themselves for them to have the kind of response that they had when they themselves were on the ballot. So, disappointing. But in this case, we won, and a victory is a victory is a victory.
Yes.
And I understand he won by 7 points or something like that, 9 points. The point is he won. And he will be there very shortly to help the Republicans hold on to that House majority.
A couple of anomalies. You've got, 3 dozen members of Congress that are retiring or not running for re-election, and a good many of those are Republicans. How do you see that playing out? And, let's just say the president's economy kicks in. Do you think that might be enough to give the Republicans the juice they need to win this thing?
That's possible, because as is always true, it's the economy. It was James Carville, who worked for Bill Clinton, who summed it up very succinctly by saying, "It's the economy, stupid." and James is right in that. I mean, that is always the issue. Absent some, horrendous, World War II style situation, it's always about the economy for the obvious reason that Americans are going about their business. They've got to have good jobs. They've got to make money. They've got to support their families. And it's interesting that this is going on while we're on the phone. I live in a suburban section of suburban Harrisburg, and it's all suburbia and all this kind of thing. And as we speak, I'm looking at a house around the corner across the street, and on the rooftop, there's 3 guys resetting the roof. 4 guys resetting the roof and doing all the nitty-gritty. Well, somebody has to pay them to do that. They, in turn, get paid and, support families and all of this kind of thing. But They are literally illustrating right in front of me what we are talking about here on the radio. These guys are doing their thing. That's how they earn money. They'll go home. They'll take care of their wives, their kids, et cetera, and that's the way the world works. And were they not there, were there a problem with that roof and the owner of the house couldn't afford to have it fixed, that's when you have a problem.
Yeah, it's a fair point. It's a fair point you're bringing up. And again, I'm just pretty bullish about this. I think there are some things we have to tweak. I think, we've got to do a better job messaging and letting people know, hey, the economy is getting better, and here's how, and here's why it's taking time to repair all the damage that Joe Biden did.
Yeah, and the problem is that Democrats are beset with a negative philosophy on the economy. And they're just not very good at it. I mean, they persist in believing that what you do is you just enlarge the government and have government do all these things. Well, I can pretty well guarantee you these four guys I'm watching do not work for the government. You have to get out there. You have to do the job. That's what makes capitalism work, is that whichever group of people are using the system really can make it work and really can do very well off of it. But if you don't do that, then the whole thing can fall apart, and you've got people not earning money and all this kind of thing. This is, you go back in history, this was the Great Depression, and how many times have I seen the old newsreels from the Great Depression with signs, "We are not hiring now." It's all these poor souls of the day would go around looking for jobs. So it's just it's absolutely critical, and I think assuming the economy is in the same situation in 2026 in November that it is right now, then I think that Trump will do fairly well with his House and Senate Republicans.
Jeffrey Lord, folks, head over to the website, thejeffreylord.com. That's thejeffreylord.com. All sorts of great content and information there. And Jeff's been doing this for a long time now, and he knows what he's talking about. Jeffrey always, go ahead.
That's why I have silver hair now.
It's true. It's a great point. All right, my friend, we're going to leave it there. Always appreciate your great analysis.
Okay, anytime. And if I don't talk to you, but Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and on to 2026.
I love it. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. Jeffrey Lord, everybody, on our Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line today. You folks in St. Louis on the Real Talk Radio Network, this is an insane story someone just sent to me. This involves a local healthcare organization. This is BJC Healthcare. You folks in St. Louis know this quite well. BJC Healthcare, one of the largest nonprofit healthcare organizations in the country, and they serve people from mid-Missouri to southern Illinois. Well, it's we have just discovered, and someone just sent this to me, it turns out they are now revoking, the hospital, the healthcare agency is now revoking parents' access to their kids' medical records. They're doing this when the child turns 12 years old, and the hospital says it's because that information, the medical information of a 12-year-old, is confidential, and parents do not have and should not have access to their child's confidential medical information. So according to the hospital, the healthcare system, the children must grant written permission in order for parents to view their medical records. They say kids can make private medical decisions and revoke mom and dad's access at any time. Are you, ladies and gentlemen, are you kidding me with this? This is insanity. And it seems to me that under the law, that mom and dad are still responsible for that child until they turn 18. I mean, this is insanity coming out of the state of Missouri and all of you folks there in the St. Louis area. But again, ladies and gentlemen, BJC Healthcare now telling moms and dads they no longer are allowed to have access to their kids' medical records if they are 12 or older. your reaction to that. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
It's Todd Starnes.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Thought, well, just for the heck of it, I'll try this Balance of Nature. But I thought, all right, I'll do it for 1 month, and then I can cancel. And so I ordered it for 1 month. I have told so many people about this stuff. They think I'm crazy. So for me to say I would continue to do it means it's got to be good.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Hey folks, Todd Starnes here. What's your plan when the smartest investors who never lose pile into gold and silver? They're buying now, watching value climb. Are you okay with missing out, seeing them thrive while you wait? Vault U.S. Gold is the answer. Trusted by pros. They offer gold IRAs to secure your retirement and gold and silver delivered, shipped, and insured to your door. Want to roll over your 401k? Well, their experts make it seamless, honest every step. Why Vault U.S.? Well, they're steady, reliable, no tricks, just value. Gold's hot. Don't regret sitting this out. Call 833-511-GOLD. That's 833-511-4653 or visit vaultusgold.com/Todd for a free investor kit. That's 833-511-GOLD or 833-511-4653 and get your free investor kit. And say Todd Starnes sent you. Vault U.S. Gold. Buy smart, win big. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. You know, Mike has a passion to help everybody get the best sleep of their life. And he didn't stop by creating the best pillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. Mike is offering the best deal on his Percale bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98. The MyPillow Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look great, they feel great, and that means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 worth of merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS to receive the MyPillow Percale sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. That's 800-839-8506. Use promo code STARNS.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. All right, we got big trouble here, everybody, in the great Commonwealth of Virginia. Oh, Virginia. Do people really say that around Virginia? I'm just curious there. They don't say, oh, okay. Anyway, maybe it was the Broadway musical. Oh, Virginia. My apologies. According to the Hanover County Animal Protection and Shelter, a raccoon broke into a liquor store and caused all sorts of damage. Police say the raccoon drank copious amounts of alcohol, and they found the furry little critter passed out next to the commode in the bathroom. We actually have a photograph up at ToddStarns.com on our and on our social media pages. According to the animal shelter, the police found the masked bandit passed out in the Ashland, Virginia ABC store. Apparently, the furry burglar had ransacked shelves and drank multiple types of alcohol. You know, I wonder what it was like when the raccoon actually woke up from the drunken stupor. After a few hours of sleep, he was released back into the wild. Police say that the raccoon was not charged, and there were no signs of being injured other than perhaps a hangover and making some very, very bad life choices. We've all been there. Well, not necessarily, passed out drunk in the bathroom of a liquor store that you've ransacked, but you've been there. The Hanover County Animal Protection Shelter says it helps rescue animals if they are found in the wild, and they provide veterinarian service and care for homeless or unwanted animals. What about detox? Are they doing that these days? More importantly, what happens when your raccoon is drunk as a skunk? Just wondering, just asking. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. Coming up, we're going to be talking to our good buddies Harry Hurley from WPG Radio in Atlantic City and our good buddy Jeff Stein out at radio station KXEL. That's the Blowtorch in Corn Country, Waterloo, Iowa. And they're going to weigh in on a lot of big stories. I've got to ask him about the raccoon as well. It's always, a lot of people think the raccoons are always doing this, but the deer lately have been really aggressive. And there have been a lot of stories of deer just breaking into people's homes and causing all sorts of mayhem. So I'm telling you, something's going on with the creatures of the forest. By the way, want to encourage you to watch Newsmax tonight, 5 o'clock, the Todd Stern Show. Millions of people are now watching Newsmax on cable. They're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2, and they're downloading our free Newsmax app on their smartphones and TVs. Reuters, by the way, says we are now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night you're going to be able to watch great shows like Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbee, and Todd Starnes. You can find out why Newsmax is the fastest-growing news channel. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. And by the way, let President Trump know that you're a big Newsmax fan because we're all about real news for real people. All right, want to play some audio here from our Vice President, J.D. Vance, and he's really fired up over Democrats, cut number 9.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's an honor to serve with this great team that you've assembled. And I just want to pick up on something you said, Mr. President, because you hit the nail on the head, that it is absurd that Democrats talk about an affordability crisis that they created and the people around this table work every single day to address. You'll hear a lot of statistics today. You hear a lot of statistics in our political conversation. I think the most important statistic for the American people is that under the Biden administration, the average American family lost over $3,000 of household income. And under the first 10 months of this Trump administration, they have gained over $1,000 of household income. What that says very clearly is that we are fixing the problem that Joe Biden and the Democrats created in the last administration. If you look at every affordability crisis that's confronting the American people today, it is traceable directly to a problem caused by Joe Biden and congressional Democrats. Why did homes get so unaffordable? Because we had 20 million illegal aliens in this country taking homes that ought by right to go to American citizens. Why did tax bills get so unaffordable? Because Democrats were raising taxes while congressional Republicans under the president's leadership, we're now cutting taxes. Why did food get so expensive? Because we printed trillions of dollars and threw it into green scams that made our agricultural economy suffer while Americans were paying higher prices for food. On every single one of those issues, Mr. President, I think we've made incredible progress. But it would be preposterous to fix every problem caused over the last 4 years in just 10 months. I think that we've done incredibly good. But what I see over the next year, and you heard Brooke talk about joy and gratitude, what I really think this season represents for me, and I think for the entire administration, is that we have now done incredible work to fix what Joe Biden broke. And I think that next year in American growth and American prosperity could be the best year that we've had in the United States of America. It's going to happen because we're all working hard. It's going to happen because we have the greatest country in the world. But I think for congressional Democrats in particular, if they want to talk about affordability, they ought to look in the mirror. We are fixing what they're broken. We're proud to do it. It's the job that we were elected to do. But I think 2026 is going to be the year where this economy really takes off.
Yeah, I do too. And when that happens, folks, and again, I heard what CNN said, but if we're able to watch this economy take off like I believe it's going to do, we're going to have a very, very good midterm. I do believe that. All right, just a reminder, folks, during the break, head over to ToddStarnes.com, and we want you to make a decision, join us and consider joining us in our effort as we grow our brand. We are about to really revitalize our digital product. We have well over 1 million people a month that come on to ToddStarnes.com, and we want to grow those numbers. And we're going to do that by adding new staffing, and we need your help and your support to do that. And we're giving you a great opportunity to partner with us. Go to ToddStarnes.com, and you'll see the many different ways that you'll be able to contribute to the effort. And we're looking for 100 of our listeners in the month of December, 100 to consider making a monthly donation to the show. Again, ToddStarnes.com. All that information is there for you. All right, hang tight, everybody. Hour 3 of the big show coming up next.
In a world where our values are under fire, it's time to stand strong. That's why you should know about Old Glory Bank. Old Glory Bank is a bank that stands for faith, family, and freedom. A bank that won't cave to cancel culture. Your money, your values. So if you're tired of banks that won't stand up for your values, it's time to switch to Old Glory Bank. Head on over to oldglorybank.com/Starnes and make the change today.
When you're working to protect and serve your community and country, you need a degree program that fits into your busy schedule. At Liberty University, you'll find just that. With 100% online program options and no set login times, you can advance your skills without sacrificing your commitments. Plus, we offer exclusive tuition rates and discounts to current and former service members, their spouses, and first responders. Learn more by texting DEGREE to 49595. That's DEGREE to 49595.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GPS for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code GPS for a $5 bonus.
Republicans are breathing a sigh of relief, retaining control of Tennessee's 7th congressional district and dodging what could have been a political earthquake. There were great fears within the party that Matt Van Epps might lose to state lawmaker Afton Bain, a Zoran Mamdani-style socialist. Bain said she actually hated Nashville, hated country music. What's shocking is she got 45% of the vote, but the socialist surge was not enough to give her a victory. Van Epps cruised to the win with nearly 54% of the vote, thanks to a massive campaign push by President Trump and House Speaker Mike Johnson. A win is a win, but the race exposed a concerning issue. When President Trump is not on the ballot, Republicans don't vote. The previous congressman's victory margin was plus 21, Van Epps plus 9. It's safe to say Tennessee voters were not voting for Van Epps as much as they were voting against a socialist loon. I'm Todd Stearns.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
From the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's Common Sense Conservative Commentary from Todd Starnes.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Well, some interesting news out of Minnesota, where you have Tim Walz, who is the retarded governor, according to President Donald J. Trump. And we can now tell you that Mike Lindell has filed paperwork to run for governor there in Minnesota. Of course, the founder of MyPillow. As a result of Mike Lindell's efforts, I will tell you that millions of conservatives around this great nation, and dare I say, they won't admit it, but dare I say that a good many liberals as well enjoy the beautiful MyPillow pillows. And I'm telling you, whenever I go out of town, and I was in beautiful, I'll give you an example. I was in beautiful Waterloo, Iowa, and Jeff Stein put me up in a beautiful hotel, and it was very lavish. But I just didn't sleep well because I forgot to bring along my pillow. Well, my pillow is what it's very difficult. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, good for you, Mike Lindell, and we will be following that story in the coming days. I want to go to the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker lines and say hello to our good friend from WPG Radio in beautiful Atlantic City, New Jersey, the great Harry Hurley, and also Jeff Stein from radio station KXEL. Guys, good to have you back with us.
Todd, great to be with you. Hello, Jeff.
Harry, it is always a privilege to hear your voice. Todd, next time, I promise, not one but two Lindell My Pillows will be waiting in your room.
Look, Harry Hurley knows this. I'm a cheap date, Jeff Stein. I don't ask for a lot.
Hey, Jeff, I gave Todd a butler. He was the most inexpensive guest in Atlantic City casino history at his VIP level. He charged exactly one hamburger, not even cheese, and one croissant. That's it.
Well, then you got off cheaper than I did, Harry, but I will tell you that I had the company credit card to take Mr. Starnes out to lunch, and I got to have lunch myself, and we feasted on breaded pork tenderloins that I'm still dreaming of.
Very nice.
Let me tell you something, Harry Hurley. We got to get you out to Waterloo. And, Jeff, if we make this happen, I'll come out on my own dime. Because we've got to introduce Harry Hurley. What is it called? It's a breaded pork tenderloin.
A breaded pork tenderloin, and it is the size of your head. And it is absolutely fantastic. Yes, sir.
Wonderful.
I don't know how they do it. I honestly don't. But no, guys, it's good to hear from both of you. And you guys were both gracious hosts, and it's always fun to get out and hang out with radio friends. Let's talk first. This is a weird story, but we broke the news about this raccoon, this alcoholic raccoon in Virginia, guys, that literally trashed the liquor store, and they found him passed out in the next to the toilet.
I know the area, Todd and Jeff. I know it pretty well. I traveled in that area for a number of years when one of my sisters lived in Virginia. This is Ashland, Virginia, in the bathroom, and the raccoon is drunk as can be. What a story.
It reminds me, or at least this is what comes to my mind, even the wildlife in Virginia are drowning their sorrows in the wake of Abigail Spanberger's election.
There you go. It wasn't just the victory. It was the size of the victory.
Fair enough. You know, guys, we were monitoring that big election in Tennessee over in the 7th Congressional District. You know, Harry, I was listening to CNN this morning. They're saying this is the start of a blue wave.
Yeah, of course.
What's your take? I mean, you got a pretty good read of things.
Here's my take. On a zombie election, right after Thanksgiving, 96,000 votes on one side, about 80,000 on the other, comfortable 9-point win. You can't compare it to a presidential election, and with President Trump on the ballot himself. So you can't compare that general election that the whole country was tuned into forever with a special election in the first couple of days of December that no one knew about. But look how they flipped the script, though. Before it was that Bain had a chance. Bain could win. Oh, my gosh. But she loses by 9, and then they flip it to another story. I'm going to take the 9-point win, especially considering the circumstances, and not let them get hysterical that this means that Democrats win the midterm because Ashton Bain, or whatever her name is, Afton, sounds like nasal spray, Afton Bain came within 9 points. That's a blowout.
Jeff, how are you guys seeing things out in the heartland?
Well, let's look at that Tennessee race because, as I understand it, the voter registration was Republicans plus 11. So they win by 9. That's within any margin of error, as Harry just noted. And it's, so Trump outperforms registration. That's not exactly a breaking news alert. Yep. The way we're looking at it here is these are individual state or local elections. In many cases, special elections. You draw trends at your own risk. Yep. And to presume that these little cherry-picked examples are going to be indicative of 435 representatives being on the ballot next year. If that helps the Democrats in their fundraising, God love them, but it has absolutely no merit in terms of a trend, a wave, or anything more than a blip.
You see, guys, I take this, I took last night's vote as a repudiation of the Zohran Mandami Democrats, and that kind of politics is not going to play in a place like Tennessee. And I'm wondering if they hauled her out there, the Democrats hauled Afton Bain out there to see if, in fact, their experiment would work, in a different, region of the country. Harry.
I like that. I think that is very good analysis. I think that's exactly what they did. But let's not forget, when you get the nomination, you get it from the fringe element of the Democrat Party. So if AOC ever ran against Schumer, she would win, and she would win by a lot because even though Schumer's a Democrat, he is not socialist Democrat enough for the wackos that control the nominating process. I think what we should be more concerned about, not that a West Point grad who's a combat pilot won by 9 points in CD7 in Tennessee, in Middle Tennessee. We should be concerned, does Gavin Newsom get away with gerrymandering 5 seats that are Republican and flip them to Democrat? Do we lose any seats in New York that we won in the previous congressional election cycle? Because those are the numbers that could flip this thing to a Democrat majority.
It's interesting you brought that up, Harry. Jeff, yesterday on the Newsmax show, we had Christy Stutzman. She is married to Congressman Marlon Stutzman out of Indiana, and she used to be in the State House herself. And you're looking at rhino Republicans in the Senate that are stopping the effort there to redistrict, giving favor to the Republicans. I think Harry's onto something, and my concern would be that the Democrats follow through with all of this, and then the Republican lawmakers hold back and say, no, we don't want to go down that path. We don't want to be like the Democrats.
There you go. And
well, first of all,
go ahead, John.
Todd, is this the Newsmax show that's on 5 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Central?
Why, yes, it is, Jeff Stein, on Newsmax 2, which you can watch on YouTube and Facebook Live.
Yeah, you can send the check. Okay, no, but as far as here's the problem: Republicans play by the rules, and then they get mad when the Democrats don't.
Right.
And so there is an opportunity here to do things the right way, and you can expose Democrat gerrymandering all you want, but unless you are willing to fight, you're just going to be sitting on the sideline licking your wounds. Now, in my state of Iowa, we have computers that spit out these maps, and one of the things they do not consider is party affiliation. They consider population. Now, you cannot federalize each one of these states so that they do things the right way. Ignore partisanship, and you've got a chance of having an actual fair district. But unless and until you get to that point, you either are satisfied with losing or you play to win.
There you go.
Harry, I was
Yep.
I was reading my Bible in church Sunday, and I mean that's what it says in the Old Testament, the book of Hezekiah, I think. Second Hezekiah, do unto the Democrats as they do to you.
Yeah, and another thing to keep an eye out on, gentlemen, for is the ranked choice voting. This is a way that Democrats will get the candidates of their choice. Oh, you won, but you don't win. It's ranked choice voting. I mean, this is just terrible what they're getting away with. It's awful. And Jeff is right. We got to start playing tougher. We got to be. If we're not going to be able to change the rules to one election, one day, then we have to get better at early voting. We have to get better at vote by mail. The New Jersey governor-elect received more than 600,000 more votes than any man or woman who has ever run for governor of New Jersey, and I don't think she had 1% name recognition in the state when she started her campaign, and that's Governor Mikey Sherrill.
Guys, I want to get this in before we have to wrap it up. Oxford, the dictionary people, they put out every year they do like a word of the year, and this year the Oxford English Dictionary, they have chosen rage bait as its 2025 word of the year, which is actually 2 words, and I'm really raging about that right now. That's unacceptable. What's going on here?
Can I go first? I did a monologue on this morning, so it is perfectly fitting that this is on the Todd Starnes Show today. The Oxford Dictionaries, it's plural. I guess it's more than one dictionary. It's plural. Rage bait, the word of the year, not the words of the year, the word of the year, not to be outdone by dictionary.com, which the word of the year is 6-7. The number 6-7, but you pronounce it 6-7. You can't make this stuff up. It's crazy time.
It's insane. Jeff Stein.
At first, I thought they were referring to my reaction every time I see my boss has sent me an email, but then I had my wife look it up because we didn't know what it meant, and I realized that it's stories like this that are the true definition, as Harry notes, of rage bait. I was angry reading the darn story, and I had to do it for work.
There you go.
So can we go back to 6-7 for a second?
Yeah.
Because this is just very confusing to me. I see that people are in like In-N-Out hamburger joints, and they're waiting for the number 6-7 to be called. And then like people lose their ever-loving minds, and they're cheering and screaming. What in the world does 6-7 mean?
Well, I've asked a few people about that, and it's a younger demographic that uses it. It pretty much means whatever you want it to mean. It's very ambiguous.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's typical of that generation. It's basically somehow they came up with this, and then, well, if you don't know, you're out of touch. You're not one of the cool kids. I am proud to say I have never been one of the cool kids, and I'm not going to start now with 6-7.
I was in the In-N-Out when that happened, and I just started cheering like everybody else. I didn't want to be like the odd man out. Woo, way, 6-7.
Todd, you're not wrong, and Jeff, you're not wrong. It has no fixed meaning, so it means whatever you want it to mean.
It's kind of like Bill Clinton would love that word.
There you go. That's right. 6-7.
Depends on what the definition of is.
That's what the definition of 6-7 is.
All right. Guys, we got to leave it there. I got to take it. You know how radio business goes. We got to go pay some bills.
Yeah,
Thank you, Todd.
All right. Jeff Stein, Harry Hurley. Guys, always good hearing from you. 2 of the finest radio men in America right there, folks. And we love both of them. And they're always kind to fill in for me on great occasions. And you hear Harry filling in for a lot of the Fox radio hosts. All right, we've got to take a break here. 901-267-5926. That's 901-267-5926. Got to do it or else we're going to have some rage baiting going on. We'll be right back.
From the front lines of the culture wars, it's Todd Starnes.
From director Sean McNamara comes Soul on Fire, based on a true story.
They said you had no chance, but here you are.
Starring Joel Courtney, John Corbett, Stephanie Shostak, Macy McLean, with Devon Franklin and William H. Macy.
If you focus exactly on loving the life that you're living right now, and not the life that you think you could have had or should have had, that's the whole deal right there.
Soul on Fire, rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Now playing. For tickets, go to soulonfiremovie.com.
Soul on fire.
Hi, this is Todd Stearns. I realize there are many choices when it comes to who you choose for your cell phone service, and there are new ones popping up all the time. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that's Patriot Mobile. For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile has been on the front lines fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms while providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all three of the main networks. Don't just take my word for it. Ask the hundreds of thousands of Americans who've made the switch and are now supporting causes they believe in simply by joining Patriot Mobile. Switching is easier than ever. Activate in minutes from the comfort of your own home. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Patriot Mobile's all U.S.-based support team is standing by to take care of you. Call 972-PATRIOT today or go to patriotmobile.com/Todd. Use promo code Todd for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT and make the switch today.
America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
We are living in dangerous and unstable times. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Stearns. Pandemics, international insecurity, shortages, supply chain disruptions, and an economy on the brink. We know we can't simply trust the government to protect us. Now more than ever, everyone needs to be prepared. And being prepared is more than just stockpiling ammo, food, and supplies. Being prepared should also include stockpiling critical prescription medications. And that's where my friends at the Wellness Company come in. Their medical emergency kit contains the prescriptions, antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics that you need to keep you and your family safe, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID and even to a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Go to twc.health/Starnes today and order. That's twc.health/Starnes. Use the promo code Starnes and you're going to save an extra 10%.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
All right, some news for all of our listeners in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and High Point and Greensboro, and it may be across the entire state of North Carolina. You guys have a beloved restaurant chain. It's a cafeteria called K&W. Any of you folks ever been to K&W? Apparently, they've been around for well over 80 years, and they announced they are shutting down. And apparently, the entire state of North Carolina is in mourning. One customer said it always had such a warm Southern comfort feeling when you walked in. The food was always good. And for many people, I mean, it's one of these places where you have the longtime employees, and they have them all over the place. I remember going to one in, I believe it was in downtown Asheville, North Carolina. And that was the infamous trip where I got to bang bongos in a drum circle. Yeah, there's more to that story, actually, but I'm trying to figure out what I'm allowed to share on the radio. So it was, I was doing an Obama story, and I think Obama or somebody in the administration was down there and came across a drum circle, and they were banging bongos right in the middle of downtown Asheville, which apparently is the Berkeley of the South. I had no idea at the time. And I stopped into there was a little restaurant, a little barbecue joint right there across from where they were banging the bongos. And you could smell patchouli oil. Oh, it's just, I can still smell it. The whole downtown reeked of the stuff. So I go in and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy some great barbecue. They had something called barbecue tofu on the menu. So I cursed them in the name of Jesus and walked out. And then I came across the cafeteria, and I just remember it being good food, and they actually served meat, and I appreciated that. Anyway, there's a lady by the name of Cynthia Samuels, and she said that she's worked, are you ready for this? She's worked at the cafeteria since 1967. That is the year of my birth. She said she cooked the vegetables, made the salads, and also made the pies. So any of you folks have any good memories of K&W, give us a call. But it's always sad when, like, a longtime institution decides to call it a day. It's a family-owned company, and they said, we just can't make it anymore. And it's they're incredibly sad to close, but all of their locations are closing. More than 88 years in North Carolina serving up good food. And, of course, it is one of those places. I remember in Memphis, we used to have we still had the Piccadilly. That's where we used to go for Sunday after church. And we were Baptists, so we always got stuck at the back of the line, those blasted Methodists and their preachers with the 15-minute sermons. And the Episcopalians, they don't even go to church. I kid. I don't want to get any hate mail from the Episcopalians. All right, 901-260-5926. Would love to hear if you got a great K&W story. I'd love to hear those. I just love these. First of all, I hate these kinds of stories, but I love talking about the traditions of America because that's what makes us unique. And one of the things that bothers me about our country is we're becoming homogenized, right? I mean, I remember even as a Southerner growing up in Tennessee, there were some parts of the state where you couldn't even understand their accent. And I live here. I was born here. We don't have that anymore, and I miss that. I just miss the uniqueness of things. And I appreciate that In-N-Out is opening up in, Tennessee. But really, I don't know. There was something unique about going to In-N-Out in California where it's based. So that's just me. All right, 901-260-5926. We're going to the phone lines, and I hope you go to ToddStearns.com. Consider making a donation, helping us out, joining us as we grow a conservative newsroom over at ToddStearns.com. All the information is there. Hang tight. We'll be right back.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe."
Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control.
Yikes!
So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at smokeybear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, let's go to the phones. As promised, 901-260-5926. Jan in South Carolina wants to help us out here with the phrase 6-7. Hi, Jan. How are you?
Hi, Mr. Starnes. I'm doing fine. I'm driving home from Alabama to South Carolina right now. I learned over Thanksgiving that the 6-7 actually is a reference to a basketball player who is 6 feet 7 inches. referenced in a rap song that is evidently very popular among young people. So
Is that right? Now I've got to ask you, Jan, where you sound like you're probably older than 21. So where are you getting your intel on this?
From my grandchildren. And
well, they would know.
I'm kind of embarrassed that they would even know that.
It's true. I cannot figure it out for the life of me. I had no idea. Hold on. Where's Cassie? Cassie, turn your microphone on. Can you confirm this information, Cassie?
Yes, I can confirm it's true. I know because of TikTok and Instagram, and it's true.
I'm not sure what it means, though. What are we supposed to make of this, Jan? I'm confused.
I guess that every time you say it, that you get laughed at. So if it's you can't be somewhere between 6 and 7. You have to be there at 6:15 or 6:37. But if it's between 6 and 7, they're just going to make fun of you.
Jan, you know what we need? We need like covert agents. We need like 17 and 18-year-olds that can feed us this intel so we don't look like we're clueless about things.
But we are.
Yeah, but that's the point. That's irrelevant. We
You gotta look cool in front of everybody. That's the whole point.
Clueless of idiotic things, so I'm okay with that.
So when I was in the In and Out, and everybody, they yelled out, "Order number 67," and everybody starts jumping up and cheering, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, well, I guess I better do it too. And I'm like, you don't want to be that guy saying, why are we jumping up and down here?
I guess you're just a lucky man. I don't know.
Well, I'm not 6'7".
I did want to tell you, I really appreciate your show. I enjoy listening to you. And I think you do a wonderful job, and you have just a unique sense of humor that is fun to listen to.
Well, you're very kind, Jan, and enjoy your drive. I've driven that route many a time, and it's a beautiful ride, and hope you make it back home safe and sound.
Well, I'm not too far, so thank you very much.
All right. Jan, thank you. What a great lady there, driving on, Alabama to South Carolina. There's a Buc-ee's right outside of Birmingham. If you're ever driving, that's pretty much the only thing of interest on that route, unless you want to stop off at Dreamland Barbecue, which is a great joint. But you got to go to the original Dreamland, and you'll have a great time. Let's go to the phones, 901-260-5926. Steve in Little Rock, Arkansas. Hi, Steve. It's been a while. What's going on?
How you doing, Todd?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. I'm still confused about 6'7", but otherwise doing pretty good.
Good. I was wanting to agree with your wanting an analysis of the election they just had over around Nashville yesterday. But there's one thing you left out that needs to be added to the analysis list. I agree with all the policies and the messaging and everything you said, but one thing you left out is need to take a look at how the votes were counted. I know I've called about this before, and you're probably getting tired of hearing it, but I had a little discussion with Brock on my phone when I heard them talking about this morning, and it's kind of one thing that jumped out at me. It said it came up with like 83 different things that had changed in the election laws in Tennessee since the last election. But one thing kind of caught my eye. In 2024, Tennessee was the #1 state in the country for passing new election legislation. Now maybe that's good. But it's kind of strange when you've just been the #1 state in the country for passing new election laws, and the first election you have, there's a 15-point swing from one party to the other in that election.
Steve, I hear what you're saying. I will say this: I've know the people in charge of the elections here. The Secretary of State Trey Hargett, that guy is a rock solid conservative. And he's done a really good job of making sure our elections are secure and the ballots are secure. I just genuinely think that there were the Democrats, and we've seen this in other races. for some odd reason, they are just motivated right now. They've got this momentum. And, again, this was an overwhelmingly Republican district. So no way that, she was going to win anyway. So I'm not all that concerned about election fraud here in this particular case.
Well, that's good to hear, but it was kind of like I said, it made a light bulb go off with me. And when you have a 15-point swing, I think everything needs to be looked at, no matter which direction it swings.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, my friend, things going well in Little Rock these days?
Going good. So, but we haven't had our midterm. We haven't been put under the gun yet, so I don't know. I'll wait and make a final decision on that after the midterm election.
Steve, good hearing from you, my friend. Don't be a stranger. All right, good guy. That's Steve from Little Rock. Let's go to Ocala, Florida. Sonny is listening to us on WOCA. Hi, Sonny. What's going on? What's on your mind?
Hi, Todd. What's on my mind is Ukraine and what's happening there with Russian invasion. And to me, it's bad news. And I think one of the things we should do, as the world should do, is kick Russia out of the UN. I don't know what it would actually do to them, but, they would have no further voice in any of the things that go on. I think then again, it depends on if they get enough spines in the European Union to do such a thing. We don't need a country like Russia in the UN. It's just bad news all the way around. Because they want, what Putin wants to reestablish the Soviet Union. He gets a hold of Ukraine, all the satellite countries all around on the border of Ukraine, from the Balkans all the way up to Poland. He's just going to walk into. And there goes, democracy in a good portion of the world, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I hear you. I think you and I disagree on this one, Sonny, and I just feel like it is no business of ours what's happening over there, and I do not want us to get involved. We're already basically fighting a proxy war with the Russians over this. I don't see the value in losing American lives for the Ukrainians.
What's going to happen if you kick them out of the UN? That's what I'm getting at.
Well, I don't know. I'd like to kick the UN out of America, to be honest with you.
Yes, I was just going to say that. But if China starts in, you want to see what could happen real fast is you turn around to tell China the first ship that you send from out of China to the United States, San Diego, you turn it around. Don't waste your fuel.
Well, I'll say this, Sonny, is we got to take a quick break here, my friend. But I'm not an isolationist. Again, we've got to make sure we're picking our battles here, and I'm just not understanding why Ukraine is so vitally important to who we are as Americans. All right, 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
You're with Todd Starnes.
From fruits and veggies to fiber and spice, Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Well, I stopped taking it for a while, and then it dawned on me, so I started taking it again. And I don't know, I like it. I love them. I'm never going to stop taking them. And I've got a friend that's coming over here. I'm giving her a little bit for her to go try.
I love the product. I wouldn't be without it. Ever since I started that product, I remember seeing an ad way back. That's what convinced me. I tried it, and I've been a believer. Nothing compares with it, so I'm a lifer with it. I'm not going to change.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code Todd.
Hey, Patriots, Todd Starnes here with big news. Trump's fighting for our country to get it back on the right track, battling China, who's likely dumping treasuries to sink the dollar, and facing tariffs that are having a sharp bite on the stock market. Now, Trump is playing the long game for America, putting Americans first. But like hard work, there's always going to be some pain. So you've got to play smart, too. Secure your hard-earned savings and retirement with Vault U.S. Gold. Their IRS-approved gold IRAs let you roll over your IRA or 401k with a no-commission pros. Safe, simple, tax-smart, protecting your future. Want it in hand? Well, their direct delivery program ships insured gold and silver to your door, offering privacy, yours to store securely. Real assets that you can hold and touch for tough times. Call 833-511-GOLD. That's 833-511-4653 or visit vaultusgold.com/Todd Starnes for your free investor kit. And tell them Todd sent you, and don't go unprotected. Many college grads are anti-capitalist activists, so if you're a business owner, how do you find new employees who won't destroy your business? Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and that's where Red Balloon comes in. They're America's #1 pro-freedom job board, and they're shaking up the hiring world by focusing on values and mission-aligned talent. Now, there are two ways Red Balloon can help. You can post your job on their national job board. Over 20,000 people visit every week, or you can hire Red Balloon Recruiter for a more customized talent search. Now, the Recruiter team is really fantastic. They start by learning your workplace culture and writing a custom job posting, and then they source and screen candidates from their national database. Their team conducts first interviews, and you get alerts when they find highly qualified candidates. And Red Balloon delivers these high-quality results at a fraction of traditional corporate recruiter prices. People are saying Red Balloon is a game changer. So check them out today, redballoon.work. Use the promo code STARNS and save $100 on Recruiter.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. All right, this story from New Jersey. A guy by the name of Jim Smith says he just wanted to buy some flowers. So he walked over to the ShopRite, which is it's sort of like their version. Cassie, you know this. This is your area. It's sort of like their version of Kroger. So anyway, Jim and his wife walked into the ShopRite in Sussex, New Jersey, and they wanted to get a gift. Well, about a minute later, so they're in the store, and all of a sudden, this loss prevention employee runs right up to him, and the guy's got a file folder in his hand. And the loss prevention guy was bobbing and weaving and walking around in circles around this guy and his wife, and they're like, what's going on? Mr. Smith, by the way, 65 years old. And so he opens up the folder, and there's a photograph of the guy, 3x4 photo, and there are receipts and pictures of the guy's shopping cart. And it turned out those photos were taken the last time Mr. Smith was at the ShopRite. So the guy says, you didn't pay for your water. You're going to have to pay us $17.80 right now. Wow, how much is water? That's a little expensive for water, right? Otherwise, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store, and you'll be banned from all of our other stores. It turns out that when Mr. Smith was at the grocery store, I almost did this once. Almost. You're at the self-checkout, right? And so you're checking out all your stuff. sometimes you put something in the bottom of your cart, you know what I'm talking about, and then you forget it's there. And it's normally like, Cokes, or in this case, the guy's, I guess he had a case of water or something. And so you're checking yourself out, and you forget to look down. And so you're walking out, and I guess the store didn't beep or something. Normally they'll have like a security thing, and you got to come back in, and they'll, check your receipt or whatever. Well, that didn't happen. But they're taking pictures of the guy. And if you notice, whenever you're going into self-checkout, you are being recorded. And it's right there. You can see yourself being recorded. So anyway, that's what happened. And the guy was like, wait, what? And so it turns out that this grocery store, ShopRite, is using this high-tech surveillance tool. And they're able to capture and confirm your identity. And by the way, they're not the only ones using this. The grocery stores are, but so are like the federal agencies, the alphabet agencies, law enforcement, your local police department, even schools. There are no signs. There are no warnings that, hey, your body is being filmed and recorded and stored in the event that you do something wrong. Mr. Smith says not paying for the water was an innocent mistake. And he says he was at the checkout line, and there was a confusion over a free Thanksgiving bird. So in all the confusion, and it happens, what are you going to do? But here he and his wife they're like literally being stopped. People are staring. And the guy actually works at the New York Police Department's counterterrorism unit. So anyway, the company that owns ShopRite has now apologized. And they said, look, we didn't, it shouldn't have gone to this level, but it did. And they actually have, according to their consumer affairs coordinator, advances in biometric technology, including facial recognition, can help retailers identify organized retail theft rings, including repeat shoplifters, and also alert store security to any threats. Now, the guy here is like really upset over all of this. And he says, how dare they do this? And he said it brought on his PTSD. So the guy says he has PTSD as a result of all of this. He was telling this NewJersey.com, he said, my biggest gripe is using facial recognition without my consent, or at least a sign that shows it's being used. Well, I'm sorry, but when you walk into a grocery store or any sort of a private business, they have a right to film you. I mean, that's part of it, and surveil you. I mean, I don't know if they need a sign or not. He says transparency seems to be a huge issue, and that's a big red flag from a customer privacy perspective. I'd be curious to know exactly how this has helped reduce shoplifting and, crime in these grocery stores, because that is a big problem. According to a survey of 300 retailers in the United States and the UK, 36% say they plan to introduce facial recognition in the next 2 years. My question is, are you freaked out by that? Do you have a problem? You walk into, say, Walmart or Lowe's or Macy's, and your face is being surveilled. So a lot of the stores are not commenting about this, but in 2023, Rite Aid was actually banned from using the technology for 5 years after the Federal Trade Commission said it wrongly accused shoppers, specifically women of color, as being shoplifters. Target was also accused of using facial recognition in a lawsuit that was dropped this year. They say they do not use the technology. And it turns out this guy, by the way, is a white guy. So it's not just, it's not just one particular race. Critics say the technology is prone to wrongly identifying people of color. One guy in 2019 actually spent 10 days in jail on a shoplifting charge before the case was tossed out because of lack of evidence. This is crazy stuff here. And the fact they know you. One guy was on he had posted yesterday a message that he was at Walmart going through the self-checkout and paid in cash. He got a call or a message from Walmart asking if he liked his product. And the guy was like, how did they know who I was? I paid cash. That makes absolutely no sense at all. So anyway, I don't know. It's the question is, they have in New Jersey, at least, they have something called the data privacy law, and that gives consumers rights when it comes to how businesses hold on to their personal data. But it's unclear if ShopRite falls into those categories. But I'm curious to know how this has helped with, again, finding the shoplifters and stopping, people from stealing from the grocery stores. It's a fascinating story. There was a 17% increase in threats or acts of violence involving shoplifting from 2023 to 2024. That's according to the National Retail Federation. Nearly half of the retailers surveyed said employees are actually banned from confronting shoplifters. And look, the shoplifters know this. I mean, we've seen this all over in California, at least. So, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, if you're a business owner, you're kind of at wit's end. And it just seems to me that the grocery store has a right to protect its groceries and the stuff on the shelves. All right, tonight, 5 o'clock Eastern, the Todd Starnes Show on Newsmax. Be sure to watch that. Also, head over to ToddStarnes.com and prayerfully consider making a donation supporting our efforts. We're looking for 100 of our listeners to join us as we grow our newsroom, and we need your help to do that. You can make that donation right now over at ToddStarnes.com. All right, folks, been a great day. We're going to do it all over again tomorrow, Thursday. Wow, this week is going by quickly. Get out there and have a great one, everybody.
In a world where our values are under fire, it's time to stand strong. That's why you should know about Old Glory Bank. Old Glory Bank is a bank that stands for faith, family, and freedom. A bank that won't cave to cancel culture. Your money, your values. So if you're tired of